Hey guys, how are you? First of all, I'd like to say a huge thank you for all the comments and feedback I've been receiving over the last couple of videos, and it's so awesome to hear the impact it's having and that you're finding value in them. And I'm going to keep doing the best I can to share knowledge, insights, and any principles that can help to move you closer towards the direction you want to be moving. What I've noticed over the last couple of weeks though is I'm receiving a lot of comments and questions around the topic of stress, particularly when it comes to one's personal well-being and feeling better about ourselves, and how we can give up this confusion and inadequacy that can come from stressful circumstances. So this is a big topic, and I could spend a couple of days in seminars, which I normally do, covering the causes of stress. So I'm gonna start off with insight over one of the biggest contributing factors to what causes stress. And what it is, it's comparing ourselves to others. I find this is the number one thing that makes people feel inadequate or discontent or dissatisfied with where they're at, because they're putting other people on a pedestal who they deem as more successful than them, and therefore that is the cause of stress and lack of clarity and uncertainty and feeling really down in oneself. So I'm going to share 3 key principles that will help us overcome this tendency and give us that peace of mind, the clarity and the conviction to move towards the direction we want to be going, and less stuck and feeling dissatisfied with where we're at. So the first step is to eliminate the false comparisons. What I mean by that is, so often we hone in and we zoom into a particular area of life that someone may be doing perceivably very well in, and then we compare it to that one area of life that we're maybe not doing so well, and we feel inadequate or discontent, although we don't measure up to that level of success. Yet we're not taking into account the holistic picture of what may be going on for that person. So for example, if they're doing well financially, okay, how's their health? How's their relationships with family or with their intimate partner? How is their social life? How is their physical health and well-being? What's their mental state like? What's their career satisfaction like? See, unless we take into account all of these things, then we don't have an accurate picture of what's actually going on. So we can find ourselves feeling discontent and inadequate in comparison, but it's not really a holistic picture. So principle 1 is to any comparisons, make sure it's a holistic picture. And we can use it then as a source of inspiration when it's a like-for-like situation, because it can help us identify gaps and things we could be doing differently, or maybe we aren't willing to sacrifice to achieve the results that they're willing to achieve. So we could model off them and use that as a source of encouragement, rather than having an unrealistic comparison where we feel inadequate from. So that's number 1. Number 2 is to honor our own values. So everybody has their own unique set of values, a set of priorities, a set of things that they deem as most important and meaningful to them that give purpose to their life. If we don't know what our highest values are, then it's very easy and often that people will inject other people's values, whether it be their parents, their friends, their teachers, or other people that they subordinate to, and they try and live a life that pleases others, or that try and become something of what other people expect them to be. And therefore, when they struggle to make great progress in those areas, it's because the motivation's coming from someone else. It's not being driven deeply from our innate self. So when we know our highest values, then we will find what our source of inspiration is, and we'll be all the more willing and ready to make the sacrifices necessary to achieve success in those areas. And it's very easy to get confused if we don't know what they are. So for example, if person A and person B. Say person A, their highest values are sport, adventure, travel, socializing, exercising, and physical well-being. And then person B may be about academia, maybe wealth creation, it may be all about investing, they may love the stock market, or they may love politics, or whatever it may be. Person A trying to live according to person B's values will find that they really struggle with being motivated or having the determination or perseverance to succeed in those areas. Similarly, with person B may not be interested in all the things that person A is interested in. So when making a false comparison where person A might say, oh, I really want the financial success of this person. But then when they realistically look at it and go, okay, they're willing to give up the sport, are they willing to give up the socializing, are they willing to give up the travel, are they willing to give up the gym and exercise time that they do to the same degree as person B? And if they say no, well then it wouldn't be realistic to expect the same results, would it? So honoring our own values is the second key to dissolving this stressful occurrence of these false comparisons. Number 3 is comparing ourselves only against ourselves. So we are all unique beings with our own journey and our own unique path of unfoldment that's specific to us, based on our values, based on what's most meaningful to us. So as long as we compare our progress to somebody else and we trying to race with someone else, or we're got an unrealistic time frame on when we think we should achieve certain results by, that's going to cause a lot of stress as well. So the healthiest way to move forward and progressing towards our goals is have a look at where we were yesterday. Have a look where we were the day before, the week before, the month before, the year before. As long as we're seeing progress, then we're on our journey to becoming all that we're capable of being. Now, I've seen sometimes some people in their late teens, their early 20s, they're like machines, they're busting their butts off to achieve great results in certain areas of life, and they do. But that doesn't mean it's sustainable, because I've also seen them burn out later on in life. Then you might have someone else who's more slower, consistent, making steady progress towards their goals, and they're still going. So it's a little bit the hare and the tortoise. As long as we're comparing ourselves to other people then and their speed of achievement, then that can be a big factor in feeling stressed or discontent with how we're traveling. It's a matter of long-term fulfillment. So life is a long-term journey, whereas as soon as we're trying to achieve things faster than possible, again, that's a big factor in stress. So understanding that everyone's on their own unique journey, their own unique timeline, their own path of unfoldment. When we release the comparisons and only judge ourselves based on our own progress, then that's the surest path to our own fulfillment and greater peace of mind, as well as contentment on where we're going. So again, those 3 steps are, number 1 is to give up the false comparisons, make sure it's a holistic view of who we're comparing ourselves to, and using them as a source of inspiration if we're identifying gaps, rather than as a source of dissatisfaction and discontentment. Number 2 is to honor our own values. Now, if you're not quite sure what your values are, then again, send me a private message, comment down below if you'd like me to send you a set of questionnaires, which I use with all my clients, and that will give you complete clarity, certainty, and conviction in what's most meaningful and important to you, and I'd be more than happy to share that with you. It's a very great exercise to do. Number 3 was to compare ourselves only against who we were yesterday. That's the surest, most consistent path to our own unfoldment and becoming all that we're capable of being. So I hope that these principles have shared some insight and given you some clarity on how we can reduce stress and go about achieving more results in the way that we want to be achieving in life. And I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear some feedback or some in the comments, or PM me, and I'd love to send you the values questionnaire to give you more certainty and clarity in what's most meaningful to you. And I'll see you in the next video, and I'm sending you much love in the meantime.